and welcome to the Vigilance Committee Cliff Williams channel, which is at vigilante 1864. That's how you can find me. I don't think I have any mods in here yet, but welcome everyone. James Forbes, nice to see you. Mr. Carey, Let's OTVO. Let's see, Birdie, good to see you. And Birdie, have you ever done any modding? Just let me know. Chris Milkey, nice to see you. So today I just wanted to answer to a live stream that Mr. Ruff did last night. It seems he doesn't know anything about how all of this started with JJ. He didn't even understand anything about Whitehead's arrest of Tiffany and Christopher Ryder. He's never even seen the video until last night. And so he said he had questions. So we're going to pull him up on the screen here. We're going to start it at, I believe it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. 2 hour and 45-minute mark. Let's just start to play it and let me know if you guys can hear everything okay.
With this Kaiser effect situation, like stuff that has literally nothing to do with you.
You know, I felt that, obviously Dumbwaiter last night was chemically imbalanced.
Imbalanced.
There was obviously a high level of intoxicants in his system.
Read what he's saying.
And I got to tell you, Chris, are your nasal, passages right here, your nose, are your nostrils normally that red and inflamed? Anyway, I felt that it was my civic duty to notify the judge and the prosecutors in Meade County that Dumbwaiter was live last night and was violating the conditions of his bond.
Pot, kettle, product wrangler. Anyway, that's not what this is about right now. Although this guy right here, Christopher Ruff, is going to have a question about something, and this guy right here got all of that information and put it all out on the internet in a live without redacting anything, and you're going to see that here in a second.
Because
my eyes aren't even red, and I've been smoking.
Here, we showed.
So Christopher Ruff doesn't even realize that Fraud at Wrangler is talking about for public safety yet. This is how brilliant Christopher Ruff is.
His bonds. And on every one of his bonds for all Baker's dozen charges, including the 2 felonies, part of his bond conditions, they're very specific. No alcohol, no dope. Not only
his
those
grip
13
numbers are
bonds,
down,
but as per his release agreement, pending his revocation of probation in Hardin County. Again, no booze,
like a
no
retard.
Those are lawful conditions. Just so you know.
All right, I want to address this because I want to make sure that no misinformation gets out there. Okay, King Charles says that Ruff was clearly on Adderall during this live. I've snorted enough drugs to know a drip snort. Look at the size of his pupils, the giant bags under his eyes. Okay. King Charles, I don't want to offend you, but I don't believe that Christopher Ruff is on Adderall or any other drugs except for his marijuana. And I believe that he's actually allergic to weed and that's the reason why he always sniffles. He's allergic. He said he has allergies, and he does this in every stream, no matter what. I've noticed it for a long time, and it's even been said by his closest friends that he's always had this sniffle and drip type thing. He smokes a lot of weed, and I think he should probably. I. It's just a suggestion. It's not a anything else, Christopher Ruff. I would go get an allergy check because I'm actually allergic to the outdoors and all kinds of different plants. I believe you might be allergic to weed, and that's the reason why you're always sniffling and suffering from allergies. It is possible, so it's something to look into.
Shut the fuck
So,
up, dude.
you know, maybe they bring him in for a piss test.
Bro, you say you hate this guy, but you give him you fucking put him in your videos. You just let him ramble and rant, and you're fucking like. You say the dude texting you. How does he have your fucking number? If he people that I don't like it or that hate me, they don't got my number.
Ding, 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 right there. Uh, this is something that you don't know, Christopher Ruff, but 2 days after Chris and Tiffany's arrest at Meade County by Whited, JJ got up on Product Wrangler's channel, and we believe that JJ doxed him because Product Wrangler actually showed uh, Chris Ryder's name, current address, social security number, driver's license number, all on documents that were never redacted. I watched that live, and it took hours and hours to take that down and take out all of the personal identifiable information. So that's how Product Wrangler got all of his information. And then social security number, they did all kinds of things to attack Christopher Ryder after that. So just so you're aware, and there's videos on it. Just go find them. Do your investigation properly. You'll find it. Anyway.
Maybe they don't, but I felt that it was my civic duty.
Yeah, he feels it's his civic duty. Pay close attention to the chat too, guys, because this next part coming up is talking about the video, and you'll see all kinds of different answers as to whether or not it was a lawful arrest.
Has literally nothing to do with you.
But, you know, it absolutely slays me is that I've never accused dumb.
Now, do you see who's in Product Wrangler's chat right now? You got Frauditor Watch. Who's this guy is the one that has put out a lot of misinformation. And then you've got JJ at the bottom of the screen. I know that it's kind of covered up there, but he's on Product Wrangler's panel almost every night for months. And now he's been on Christopher Ruff's panel. He's been on Lick the Whole Boots panel. Well, maybe not on his panel, but definitely in his chat. And he's been on Todd's channel and panel numerous times as well. He's all over the internet, and there's a reason. Somebody asked in the chat one time, "What's in it for him?" Or they left a comment on my last video. What's in it for JJ? Well, we're going to get to that. Here we go.
Waiter of anything ever that I didn't have receipts for. Every crime I've accused him of doing, the wife beating, I've got receipts.
So do I, Bertie. I remember it very well. There was like 300, just over 300 people in the live stream of official misconduct when Chris and Tiff got arrested in Meade County there by Whited. So we know what happened. We know that, and it's been analyzed over and over and over again. Even Todd's channel analyzed it and could find nothing that Chris and Tiffany did wrong at all. He even came to the same conclusion. It was an unlawful arrest. So, but anyway, here we go. Whoop. My tremors are always bad in the morning. There we go.
But I don't understand that he thinks it's okay to go around and just defamatory everyone. Hey, Bookie Worm. Hey, David.
Defamatory, everyone.
Persons. But he thinks he can just go around spouting all these lies about other people so he can make money off of them. And when he gets caught breaking the law, what does he do? He slanders the people responsible for his prosecution. Why?
I appreciate that, King Charles.
Because
Like
he
button is
wants them
activated.
to
What I'd really like everyone to do right now, just go ahead and do it. Subscribe to this channel. If you like the drama, you like all this back and forth bullshit, I don't really care for it. But I'm gonna defend where things need to be defended, and I'm gonna call out things that need to be called out on this specific channel. So be sure and subscribe, hit the like, get that bell notification for when I put out videos like this. A lot of people seem to enjoy this drama, so I'm going to capitalize on it, and it's going to be all about the money for me. I want to get my grift on too, on this channel. The other channel that I have, no, it's never going to get monetized. It's my constitutional advocacy channel on the Vigilance Committee. And anything that's on the Vigilance Committee right now that has to do with any kind of this drama, I'm going to eventually figure out how to get those lives onto this channel. So this channel is going to be the drama channel, basically. So, but do that now. I want to see that my subscriber count has gone up. Let me go over here, YouTube. I'm just going to look for myself. I want to see that my subscriber count is going up on this channel. So I'm going to type in the search bar at vigilante 1864 search. There it is, the Vigilance Committee, Cliff Williams. Let me click on it. Right now I've got 184 subscribers. I do expect that count to go up during this live stream. So let's make sure we get that done, okay? All right, here we go.
accuse him themselves.
Uh-oh. Whew, I was hearing a different video playing. Okay, so I had to figure that out. Yes, business plan, Christopher, Chris Milkey, absolutely. I'm going to get my grift on and start making money. It's bullshit that all these people, including for public safety, they're all making money on this bullshit drama. So I want to make money too if I'm going to share this kind of garbage. Okay. So let's represent here because I kind of got it screwed up. So let me get over here. Oh, there we are. Share again. And let's continue on this.
You know what's the problem with this moron too is even if he was uncovering like some kind of corruption in Meade County, in the jail, with the sheriffs, with the police, with the with the Indiana State Police, like, but you're muddying the waters with your lies and your nonsense. Like any possible corruption that you may uncover, anything that these people may be doing wrong, is going to be sidelined because of how you behave, the focus that you fucking have. That's why we don't want you. We don't. You're not welcome.
And who are you to say we don't want you and you're not welcome? All right, Christopher Ruff. um, and you don't know what you're talking about. A lot of this stuff does have to be defended, and because he's been attacked for so many months, Christopher Ryder, that the narrative is out there that he's basically just a grifter and Whited did nothing wrong. That's where what all this stems from, is what Whited did to Chris and Tiffany in that arrest in Meade County. And a lot of people have seen this live. I'm surprised you're just now catching up, Ruff. Here it comes.
You're think about that, folks. I'm not saying that everybody in Meade County is like fucking angels. I don't believe that at all. There is corruption there. It's everywhere. Okay. But this guy,
and it's being exposed, Christopher Ruff.
Is not the person to find it, because are you going to believe it? I'm not. I don't believe anything that this dude says bad about anybody, especially having been on the receiving end of his like blatant lies. I could ask questions before and maybe have his side, and not now. The dude is literally just made up shit off the top of his head. Like the other day, I believe he said that he has a fucking adopted daughter. What? That's a new story. What the fuck, crackhead? What are you talking about? Did you got some kid in a basement that we don't know about? What? Just weird shit, lies. So I can't believe anything. So if he does uncover some corruption, it's going to get sidelined. Nobody's going to care.
All right. So in the chat here, Blanche, he was grifting for a while because Tiff could never pay the bills. Is that it all? Who the hell are you, Blanche? And how would you know? It's bullshit. Okay. And Bloodborne, I don't believe anything they say. Well, Bloodborne, I believe that you have always been a Kaiser sycophant. Fraud at Wrangler, sucking up and regurgitating everything he's said over the last couple of years now, or at least 18 months. Just stupid people.
No, that's that's why you're a waste of time. You're a waste of space. You need to go back to mopping floors, fucking scrubbing toilets, and throwing some paint on some dusty buildings, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's about all you're worth. That's your skill set. You suck at editing. Your word is worthless. You're a piece of shit. You're a proven piece of shit. You're a proven liar. You're a proven scam artist. You're a proven fucking weirdo. The only thing you're good at is mopping floors, scrubbing toilets, and painting some shit. So just stick to that, because editing, you suck at it. YouTube, you suck at it.
Who gives a shit about editing? Do you guys actually even give a shit about editing and all of this YouTube, how to run a channel, all that kind of shit? Because I don't give a shit about any of it. I give a shit about the content. And here's somebody right here. This guy. You don't know what the fuck you're even talking about on anything, and I'm gonna prove it to you on this fucking live stream that Christopher Ruff did last night. So yeah, you think you know things. You don't know shit.
A good human being, you suck at it. You're never going to be a dad, so stop fantasizing about it, or at least about kids. Just toilets, floors, paint. That's it.
All of his lies are just a distraction to the real problems.
Yeah.
He slanders them on YouTube. They recuse themselves, and his case gets kicked down the line in hopes that it's just going to keep going down the line, that it gets to somebody and goes, I don't have time for this shit. And they just get it dismissed.
I don't believe that's going to happen this time. I think he stepped in too deep. And back to him slandering people. Of course, he has a pattern. If anybody else has noticed, I'm sure they have. He likes to take all of his own personal shortcomings and accuse other people of these.
Typical government corrupt official. He's trying to set the narrative. That's why he's up on all these panels. He is trying to gaslight, basically, is what he's doing. And you people, like Killamilla here, made fun of a lady being, you know, I don't believe that's true. You're an idiot. You're just an absolute muppet, they like to say. Finkel, welcome. I informed that JJ apparently came clean on the bogus charges he tried to press back in April. Anyone know where he said these things? It was on Todd's channel, I believe, last night. Finkel. He was up on his panel. And yeah, he finally, I mean, he said somebody else said that it was happening, and I just went along with it. Why would you do that, JJ? Why would you make somebody think that charges were coming? Why would you do that? Huh? I'm sure. I can't speak for Finkel, but if it would have been me, I'd have been worried that somebody was going to come knocking on my door or grab me and extradite me to Kentucky. You know? Why would you do that, JJ? He attacks anybody that tries to defend for public safety and official misconduct. He attacks their character. He tries to investigate them. And thank you for coming in, Stephanie. I probably should have texted you. You are my only mod in here right now. So if you'll put up this channel's link, that would be great. And be sure and ask everyone to subscribe. I already told everybody we got 184 subscribers when I started this, so I want to make sure that number rises. I want to get to 500 as quickly as possible so that I can get monetized. If I'm going to do this crap, like Christopher Ruff says, I want to get paid too. So, and my tremor's kicking in. I got to try to play the video here again, but I'm shaking so much. There we go.
Just a few examples, like
He is probably the most perfect example of somebody who projects. He is the textbook definition of somebody that projects, like projects their emotions, projects things that's happening to them, like, and accuses other people of it, not just like your normal type.
Christopher Ruff, you know better than that. You know the government does these things, that they project what they're doing when they arrest you. Well, he was harassing. No, the cop was actually harassing. Well, he was doing this. No, the cop was actually doing that. Cops actually charge you with crimes that they were actually doing. And Christopher Ruff knows this. So talk about projecting. That's all JJ does, is project. It's a government, it's how they operate. It's modus operandi, especially for corrupt government officials. They project.
Type of projections, just like the weird kind, like, you know, he's facing prison time and felonies and shit, but he'll tell everybody else, like the way he talks about his case with JJ, like he's the fucking victim and the witness, and JJ's a defendant, and you know the case isn't going JJ's. He's got this warped perception of fucking reality.
Called Chief Deputy White a woman beater. Well,
That's exactly what Chief Deputy Whited is, and that live stream proved it. He is a woman beater.
That's not true.
What are you gonna do?
Don't fucking
Really?
get.
Oh, whoa. This is unnecessary. You want to get tased? You want to get tased? Hey, put your hands behind your back. Get off of her. Get up. My hands are behind my back. You nut job.
Get off of me.
Oh, you never seen this before, have you, Christopher Ruff? Look at him contemplating.
I have a question about this arrest.
Good. I'll answer.
How many of you have seen this footage?
I have, Mr. Ruff. I watched it live, and so did Birdie. I believe Stephanie watched it live too. Did you watch it live as well, Stephanie? Do you remember this? I'm not going to wait for the answer. I'll just I'll look for it. Anybody that saw this live, this arrest live, put a 1 in the chat.
Navy girl, you have? Okay, I need I'm gonna ask a very specific question. So,
Pressmaster said he watched it live too, as well as Navy Girl. Enema said that she watched it live as well. And Bear, he said he watched it live too. Now, Canada is watching, said he's seen it, which doesn't necessarily mean he saw it live.
and it's not like a maybe. It's like
Years ago,
important,
Frank
so
Military says. Yeah,
before this police officer.
years ago. That's a lie, Frank. Bloodborne said he watched it live. Ashley said she watched it live. Okay.
Sir, grabbed Tiffany. Did he? It is chopped. I know it is right here, but not in a while though. Okay. Before he grabbed Tiffany, did this officer tell Tiffany you're being detained or you're under arrest?
Here's the exact words. You want to go too? Exact words. And then he attacked her. You guys remember those exact words? You want to go too? Put a 1 in the chat if those were his exact words. I watched that live so many times. I've got it memorized because I analyzed it and analyzed it and analyzed it to try to find a crime. KY Reacts is in the chat. He's put a 1 in there. So he saw it live. Darren said he saw it live. Stephanie definitely saw it live. Chris Milkey saw it live. Verbatim. Okay, thank you, KY React. So you verified what I just said. You want to go too? Not you're under arrest, not you're detained. None of that happened. It is on my YouTube. I watched it live, Dublutz says. Okay. So out of the 300 people, the few amount of people that are in my chat or on this channel watched it live. James Forbes, I don't know. I think you were in here first, but I'm not sure. I thought that could have been yesterday's or live that I did. Did you happen to see this video live of Christopher Ryder and Tiffany Napier's arrest at Meade County by Chief Deputy Whited? Put a 1 in the chat if you did. And don't say you did if you didn't. Because a lot of these people are saying they saw it live, and we're gonna see what they say about the arrest.
That's a very important question. So
It is.
if he didn't say that, don't say that he did.
You're doing your investigation right now, right, Christopher Ruff? You're asking people what happened. And these are people that don't like for public safety, right? So Killa, he says, I don't remember. I don't remember. Bloodborne, I can't remember. Frank, who who cares? Fuck the bitch. Bear says no. So at least he was honest there. Um, he knows it was an unlawful arrest.
Who cares? Fuck that bitch. I mean,
Here's where I believe Christopher Ruff does care. Navy girl, you got that part wrong. He said, okay, well, let's go to jail then when he arrested Christopher Ryder. Okay. That's not a detainment. That's not saying you're under arrest. And he goes hands on as soon as he's saying, okay, let's go to jail then. Because they said we're not leaving until we get all of our documents. We got court tomorrow. So yeah, that's part of the unlawful um, and use of force, unlawful use of force. And we're going to get to that too here in a minute. This is what all of this stuff stems from. And JJ knows that Meade County is going to be sued into oblivion for this false arrest and unlawful use of force. He knows it. That's why 2 days later he got on Product Wrangler's channel and basically doxed them so that the attacks could begin. I don't think Christopher Ruff realizes that. He's new to this game. He's new to what's been happening.
what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. That's why it's an important fucking question.
Yeah, it is. Bloodborne, been a while since I said it.
You know,
Kenneth is
okay,
watching,
let's
not
go to
sure.
jail isn't you're under arrest or you're being detained.
Exactly. They were told to leave. So that's Cricket Shepherd. They were told to leave. They have to leave. Just because they're told that they have to leave. No, that's not justification for going hands on, putting them in cuffs. And I believe Christopher Ruff's going to say so here in a second.
Doesn't matter if they were told to leave.
Exactly.
All right, Barry, that's what I wanted to know.
There we go. Bear was at least honest here. He never declared arrest or detention prior to going hands on. Sheriff was sloppy for sure. But watch what else Bear says though too, because he gets it twisted. Killa, where'd you go? Are you still in my chat?
Yeah, don't let him drink out of her water. Is his empty?
Notice how Christopher Ruff just walks away from the screen, tends to his business, and then comes back. He doesn't care about his audience. He doesn't care who's watching. He doesn't care about any of this stuff.
So there's that.
So Bear, even though I can't stand either of them, the cop did violate their rights. So now it's justified that JJ go up on everybody's panel and throw out this narrative to defend Meade County. Basically, that's what's in it for him. I think Navy Girl had that question in one of my live comments in the comment section. She asked, "What's in it for JJ?" Well, this is what's in it for JJ. He's trying to protect his county from being sued, and that's why he's trying to defame and go against Christopher Ryder in every shape, manner, or form, up to and including going and meeting certain people to help them with their custody case. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And actually paying for his attorney. Of course, the guy said it was a loan, but why would JJ do that? Why would he do that? I believe he just wants to hurt Chris and Tiff in every shape, manner, or form. He wants to defame them. He wants to destroy them. Destroy them first, throw them in prison or jail so that they can't come back and sue Meade County. That's what's in it for him. He wants to be the hero for his county government. And he's doing a lot of shady shit, up to and including investigating his supporters, or throwing out a little information to these other channels out here so that they can investigate supporters. That's what I believe. So to protect that, it's just my opinion, but I know I'm right. Okay. There's been some shady shit going on.
He told her she was being arrested. You're missing the point of the question.
He never told her she was being arrested. He said, "You want to go too?" And then he immediately attacked her.
Before he touched her, did he notify her that she was being detained or she was under arrest? Saying, "Okay, let's go to jail," is not notification.
Killa, didn't Tiff grab the officer? I think you forgot the R. While they were arrested, Chris? No, Killa. See, a false narrative out there, right there. Like she interfered with Christopher's arrest. She did not. All she did was said, "You messed up. You messed up. And don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be in a pickle." Like I said, I've watched this thing so many times, that arrest, over and over and over again, that I pretty much have it memorized.
Okay. There is not extenuating circumstances in this moment that would require him to skip this crucial part of detaining and arresting somebody without a warrant.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, I don't like her either, but if this officer did not follow procedure when he was effecting an arrest, then the police got nothing. I'm not going to advocate for some nonsense when I myself have had the same situations happen with police officers that think that.
Okay, you're pretty sure JJ will be running for sheriff of Meade County in 2026. Rumor here in Kentucky. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know, because I think that's his motives too. Is he wants to be the hero and save Meade County from a huge lawsuit, because I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of damages that have incurred since that arrest. A lot of damages. I mean, it's you. And that's what Chris and Tiffany have been doing, is gathering evidence and adding up the damages that have happened to them, all the defamation out there, all of that stuff is adding up, and it continues to add up. And when people pile on, they're all going to be part of it too, especially when they're putting out misinformation, which they have been. And and we know it because we've been watching very closely this whole thing play out um, for a couple of years now. And these guys, especially Christopher Ruff, he's very late to the game. Um, I do respect the fact that he is saying the things that he's saying right now. So I'm kind of helping him with the answers here, and I'm sure he'll see what we're saying about it. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Um, but
They could just fucking grab you, and they can't.
exactly,
There are, like I said, extenuating circumstances that will allow them to skip telling you you're under arrest or you're being detained.
yes, that's
Like if
true.
they witness you do something or you start running from them, they don't have to,
Mhm.
you're detained before they tase you or some shit. No.
Okay, so now Bear is saying it was an illegal arrest. Okay.
In this instant, they have no warrant. There's nothing happening. They absolutely have to tell you. Absolutely. Before they touch you, they have to fucking tell you. If they don't tell you, it's called an unlawful use of force.
Okay, Kelly Garrett, you don't have to say you're detained or under arrest. Yeah, you do. Cricket, Shepherd, Bear, they were told to leave. They didn't, and he arrested both of them prior to touching either of them. How do you arrest someone without touching them? You frickin' idiot. Uh, These people are saying shit that they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It's and these people are all in Christopher Ruff's channel. They're all Christopher Ryder and Tiffany's haters. They're a lot of them are from Fraud at Wrangler's channel, who Christopher Ruff says that he despises. But these are all the same suspects here.
Okay.
And look the whole boot. You're so specific. The dude got upset. You can tell if you look at the clip. Okay, who's the dude? Lick the boot. Who's the dude? I know who the dude is. The dude that got upset was Chief Deputy Whited. He got upset because they wouldn't follow his commands and leave when he told them to leave. You know, I ain't leaving. Why don't you just go ahead and be dismissed? Is what Christopher Ryder says. He says, "Oh yeah," he got into his feels. He said, "Let's just go to jail then." And then he attacked Christopher Ryder and put him in Cuffs. Let's just go to jail then. That's not saying you're detained. That's not saying you're under arrest. Um, he's using the wrong words to protect himself because he doesn't think he needs to, because he's a corrupt fucking cop. Just my opinion, but I'm right.
Yeah, I watched the clip. He got upset. He let him affect him. He let him affect him, and he reacted to it. And he didn't. From what I'm being told in the chat, now I haven't seen the clip. I didn't analyze that part because obviously it's not in here. But Chris, if you're listening, you might want to add that into future clips. The part where he doesn't tell her she's under arrest. That might give.
He already has, Christopher Ruff. Put a one in the chat if you guys have all seen the video where they basically explained that arrest. So, because Christopher Ruff is telling me you might want to add that in there. He already did. It's in previous videos. Why don't you go watch some of his videos, Christopher Ruff? Because a lot of these things, a lot of this evidence, a lot of this stuff is in his fucking videos. But you're not going to take the time to watch those things, are you? Not going to take the time at all. Well, we got some more ones in the chat. What is that? Let me show this. Regardless, if a person is convicted felon, preacher, politician, the police still have to honor their oath. They seem to believe Chris is a liar. So Deputy Whited wasn't wrong. It's pathetic. Yeah, it is. It is pathetic. What do we got here? Mr. Carey. Stephanie, I don't see you after today. I will next year. Don't forget me, friend. Like that. And let's do put Mr. Carey's link in the chat. I think both sides, no matter what, like Mr. Carey because he doesn't really. I mean, he's not really taking sides on any of this stuff. And he does his own thing by putting out musical parodies, and they're funny as hell. He even did one on me. Uh, I only talk to Nikki when I need a favor. And that's back when we were business partners, which was kind of true. That's why it was so funny. All right, here we go.
Give your arguments against the situation a little bit more credibility, bud.
Yeah, the credibility's already there, bud, because it's already put it out.
Yeah, they are trash, but I'm not going to
Oh,
sit here
they're
and
trash,
say
okay.
that. Um,
So they're still trash. They're still trash, even though their rights were violated, and that's where all of this shit stems from. They're still trash. I don't like either one of them, but I think this was a bad arrest. Cop was butthurt. Pressmaster. See, at least I mean that what they're doing is they're sucking up to Chris Ruff because Chris Ruff basically is telling them if Whited did these things without telling them they were under arrest, they want to be in good favor with their master. That's why they're saying these things.
that anybody was right. How about that? I'm not going to say anybody was right.
Let me check my subscription count. Still at 184. I'm going to end this stream. I'm telling you, people, I want subscribers on here. You're going to come into my channel and give me all these praises and not subscribe to the channel. That's ridiculous. Do it now. Oh, give threats in order to get subscribers? Yeah, kind of. Just do it. Come on. And hit that like button too. All right, here we go.
I don't think the cops did
Thank
a
you,
good
Jody
job
D.
there. All you had to do was say,
Thank you, Jody D. I appreciate that.
okay, you're being detained. You're under arrest. Then you skip a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, unsub and resub it. And then hit that notification bell too, because we're going to do a lot of videos like this. And Bug, I've never seen you before, so I hope you've hit the subscription bell. Um, I don't know who you are, Sly Shy. No, I don't think I've seen you before. You guys might have already been in. I'm such a meanie. Yeah. You'll figure out that I'm really not. Uh, I unsubbed and resubbed. Okay, thanks, Finkel. I appreciate it. Yeah, choose all on that bell so you get all of the notifications when I go live. And I don't really give. Um, I just go live. You don't really get warning ahead of time, so uh, sometimes I do give warning, especially if it's important and I want people to be there. And frankly, a lot of these are important. It's just sometimes it's a spur of the moment thing. I decide, hey, I want to answer to this. And then I also want to give credit where credit's due. Christopher Ruff is seeing where all of this started. And this is probably part of his investigation that he should have started with was the arrest where everything stems from. And then figure out why all of these people are going against him and putting out false information. Dummy Kruger, Fraudit Watch, all of those people, Fraudit Wrangler, they put out misinformation to where Christopher, you sucked it up, and it's all bad information. If you'd have started here, you'd have realized what was going on and why these other channels are doing what they're doing. And the common denominator, J.J. Scarborough. Navy girl. Just like snitching on Kaiser. Oh boy. Yeah. I believe she is a sycophant for Kaiser as well. Bloodborne, him posting my shit as a call for action is going to hurt him big time because it shows how he tries to weaponize his subs to attack people he doesn't like. Whoa, Killa. This is what Fraud at Wrangler does. That's what Fraud at Wrangler does. And Killa, you're probably a Fraud at Wrangler sycophant. And you've probably put out information that was completely untrue, just like you're doing here. That's all projection. See what I mean? These people project what's been happening to Christopher Ryder. Oh, yes. Please don't go. And some people might not know or understand what terms of service are. There's certain things that you can't say in a chat, or even on a panel, or even on. Um, uh, so just be careful of what you say and how you say it. That is a YouTube thing. They do kind of curtail our freedom of speech. And I definitely want to get this channel monetized. So please don't say anything that is against terms of service. Okay. We want to make sure we're very careful about those things. You will be timed out. If you continue to do it, then you'll be timed out for 24 hours. My mods are relatively lenient. Oklahoma Outlaw, we are not timing people out for anything except for terms of service violations. Just want to make sure you're aware. And anything that Stephanie does, my other mods are not to undo it. She is the managing moderator. She knows and understands where sock accounts are coming from. And if she times somebody out for 24 hours and then they come in and use a sock account, she knows who they are. Okay. She recognizes them. She's very good at this. So that's why she's a managing moderator. She's also very fair. Even WTF Emmy said that she was fair in our last stream. So we don't want to be timing out anybody at all if we can help it. But terms of service violations, we will definitely will. Okay. All right.
She grabbed the cops so they witnessed her doing something. What? She grabbed the cops so they witnessed her doing something?
So again, in that live, everybody that watched the live, did Tiffany ever grab Whited? Put a 1 in the chat if she did grab Whited. Put a 2 in the chat if she didn't grab Whited. I'm going to continue to play it, and then we'll go back and see what people have put into the chat.
What does that mean?
And that comes from Charm City. She grabbed the cop, so they witnessed her doing something. She didn't grab the cop. Liar. Or misinformed, or just heard it from Wrangler, maybe. Or heard it from Todd. Or heard it from, well, actually, Todd did analyze that live stream, and he said they did nothing wrong and should never have been arrested. So he came to the same conclusion. And then, a few months later, still turned on him because of what JJ did. And then now he's a sycophant for JJ. Never open your door to a pig. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, I don't.
Chancho, go lay down.
Charm City. Shut the hell up. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about, and you probably have never even seen the video. He was arresting Ryder, and she got physically involved. She did not. She did not get physical. What she did was say, "You just messed up, and don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be in a pickle." And the other deputy laughed, and she says, "Ha ha ha! You go ahead and laugh." And that's when Whitehead came over to her and said, "You want to go too?" And then tried to tase her as he grabbed her and manhandled her. We saw the bruises. There's pictures. So yeah, Whitehead, you beat women. That's my opinion, but I'm right.
He was arresting Ritter and she got so okay. See, that's another element that I didn't. I was obviously not here. I don't know if
Yeah, lick the whole boot. All right. It's kind of like Chris and all of his sassy comments he makes. It's like just come out of the closet and be about it. Ooh. This is why I wanted to have a phone conversation with this guy. This, and I'm not going to mention names like he does. He uses his friend uh, to try to gain favor. Okay, I'm not going to mention his name because he texted me yesterday. Says I want to be completely out of it. I don't want my name mentioned, so I'm not going to mention his name. I respect him. I don't respect you, lick the whole boot.
she walked up and did something. Chancho, stay. Stay.
Killa, same fucking bullshit. Ruff, she went to grab the cop off of Ryder. No, she didn't. One thing to note is Kentucky does not have a resisting unlawful arrest law. So if you resist, you will be charged for it. Okay, so Bear, you're an idiot. And it's going to be proven here in a minute.
So if you resist, you'll be charged for it. Well, that's the thing. Resisting arrest in a situation like this requires notification that you're even under fucking arrest. That's the whole point. That's why I'm asking that question. Now, if she got involved with something that was happening and he turned around and grabbed her and started putting her under arrest because she's physically interfering with what he's doing, then that's different. But if he just walked up to her and said and grabs her and no, you have to tell the person they're under arrest. You have to notify them because if they do resist or they fucking fight back, you better be able to justify grabbing them in the first place or pulling your weapon out. That's
Exactly. And he did pull a weapon out. He pulled out a taser and pressed it up against her chest. We all watched it. We watched it live. And he says, "You want to get tased?" As he's grabbing her and manhandling her, attacking her, basically, beating a woman, basically, is what it comes down to. That's what he did, unlawfully. Physical force, assault, things that we would get charged for. They're not the cops. And Christopher Ruff is right about something else here in a few minutes. So hang on, guys.
Dude. I got Arizona cases from 2018 with case law that says just fucking that.
Oh, Twika, I can tell you. I can tell you why Ruff and Barry Cooper broke up. Their love fest that was going on for a while ended when Barry Cooper disagreed with an unlawful arrest that was made, and it was an unlawful arrest. It's actually went into a friend of his car to get an axe out of the car, so violated his Fourth Amendment right. An axe is a tool, not a weapon, unless it's being used in a crime. And Barry Cooper said, "Oh no, they can do that. It's an officer safety issue." So Barry Cooper is still has that cop mentality, and he was wrong. And Ruff called him out on it because it's an active case. It's a friend of his. Okay, so that's why they broke up. But yeah, you're right. Um, Ruff was nut swinging for a while, but no longer.
These cops even shot this man in the ass while he was resisting arrest. But the whole point was, is the cops didn't tell him he was even under arrest. How can you resist an arrest that you're not aware of?
Okay, let's look at this chat again. Being touched, she kicked and pulled him around the area, shoved him by both. She was trying to defend herself against an unlawful arrest, and actually, this is still an open case. So I'm just giving my opinion of what I saw. But there's a reason why that live stream has been taken down. It's going to be used for court. Okay, so a lot of those charges. Um, the consensus is, even by bootlickers, is that Whited had no justification for touching them and arresting them. None. And that's on both sides. No, I do see that stuff, Finkel. I just, it's embarrassing to me, so I'm not going to highlight it. But I do appreciate you. And thank you.
Yeah, Bear's on point there. I think it's more than 4, Bear, but yeah.
Okay, let's look at these comments. Again from Charm City. You said if they witnessed her doing something illegal, then they don't have to tell her she's under arrest. She got physical. Um, did you guys answer that? I probably missed it in the chat. There should be a lot of 2s in here. Let me scroll up and see if there was, as to whether or not she got physical. Yeah. Okay. Chris Milky, 2. Finkel, 2. Stephanie, 2. Wingspan Angel, 2. Dubloves, 2. And again, most of these folks here were in the live. 2. She didn't. She walked towards them while she was recording, and she was berating him. Right? She was saying, "You just messed up. You are going to be in a pickle, and I wouldn't do that if I were you. Don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be in a pickle." That's all she did. She did not get physical. So, all right, let me scroll back down here. There we go. There we go. Let's continue.
There's only a handful of states that.
Okay, ready to move mountains. She keeps screaming to get their hands off of Chris. Yeah, she has a right to do that. He was being unlawfully arrested. He wasn't even being told he was being arrested. The guy just said, "Well, let's just go to jail then." After he'd been told he was under arrest. See, that's where you're fucked up, Ready to Move Mountains. He did not ever say, "You're under arrest." He said, "Well, let's just go to jail then." Because he's an idiot. And you're an idiot because you're putting out a false narrative. Okay? Stop. Because I'm going to call you people out on this stuff when you do it. So if you're going to say something in a chat, make sure it's true. Make sure you know for a fact before you say it, because I'll call you out on it. every time if I find it. Okay. Then he says, so anytime you make a statement and then you say but, the statement previous was a complete lie. Okay. So he says, Chris, after he had been told he was under arrest and tried to keep from doing it, so she did make mistakes also, but the cop made mistakes also. Ready to move mountains. You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, you just don't.
Allow you to resist an unlawful arrest. Yeah.
Yeah, you are allowed to resist an unlawful arrest, especially egregious
And try to keep him from doing it.
unlawful use of force.
Yeah, if she that's different. I want to now I'm kind of I might watch this video without this not in this format.
And I absolutely think you should, Christopher Ruff. It might enlighten you about how all of this started. And it's not the complete how all of it started, but it's how it started in Meade County and how JJ 2 days later, all over the internet, doxing, uh, allegedly in Minecraft. I have to say that just to protect myself. But I watched it. I watched Product Wrangler show Christopher Ryder's name, current address, date of birth, social security number, and that's how they all were able to attack him, his channel, his GoFundMe's, hacked into his emails, hacked into his phone, actually called his clients who were corporations, and they said, "Oh, he's not going to be able to make it in. He's going to be in jail or prison." So they got, they basically lost his contracts over that kind of stuff. And it all stems from Product Wrangler, who got information from JJ. Because remember, you can't do an open records request from Oklahoma. You're not a Kentucky resident. But JJ is, and JJ's on the panel as he's being doxxed, as Christopher Ryder is being doxxed. We watched it. And it took hours for him to take that down and then reboot the video without the personal identifiable information. So Navy Girl. Let's see what she's saying. Christopher Ruff. I just rewashed it. I have typos, Navy Girl, because I have tremors. Do you have tremors too? If you do, it's a disability. So I can understand the typo. If not, maybe before you hit enter, reread it. Myself, I don't want to have to try to correct my typing, so I just do it, and people can figure out what you're saying anyway. So Navy Girl, I think you meant to say Christopher Ruff. I just rewatched it, and they told Ryder to put his hands behind his back, but just grab Tiffany. Okay, so after Whited says, "Well, let's just go to jail then. Put your hands behind your back." So she left that part out. Well, let's just go to jail then, as he's grabbing Christopher Ryder. Okay, and then he's saying, "Put your hands behind your back" after he grabbed him. So you got it half right, baby girl. And a lot of things that you say and type are half truths. So you need to check yourself because you're wrecking yourself. Okay.
But just grabbed her. She didn't get involved at all. Was she getting involved in the arrest, or was she just standing there talking?
And Barry, you're putting out a false narrative too. You're acting like they can, under no circumstances, they can resist arrest, even though Christopher Ruff says, "Well, you have to know that you're being arrested," and they didn't. The words have to be said, Bear. So you're an idiot, and so is Bloodborne. Laughing my ass off, Killa. So what did Killa say? What did I miss? I probably already called it out.
Bear, an important distinction to make is you can't resist an unlawful arrest, right? So even it's not an arrest if they're not telling you. So while
Exactly.
there's a very few states that allow for an unlawful resisting an unlawful arrest, you can't do that most places, right? But you can resist an unlawful use of force in every fucking state.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it was. Put a one in the chat if you agree that that was an unlawful use of force. And I'm going to start paying a little more attention to the chat here because I get on a tangent. Please use spell check. Yeah. What's this? Oh, nope. I'm going to take that down. Mr. Carey, I'm getting there. Stephanie, no problem. Carey, let us know. Oh, look at all the ones coming in. Wingspan Angel, 1. Tyrants Beware, 1. And that is the real Tyrants Beware. Guys, be careful. There's another Tyrants Beware out there. It's Tyrants with a Z. Stephanie, Chris Milky, Bug. All right, I'm going to shout that out. Thank you, Mr. Finkel. Hope you kept the $20. That's for Mr. Carey. Good. That's cool. Darren put a 1. There we go. Cliff. That was for Navy Girl. Okay. 2525. And you better show up, Michael Kaiser. All right. Yeah, the other me is actually licked the whole boot. I like that. So you've got sock accounts. I don't have any. I just got these two channels, the Vigilance Committee, Cliff Williams, and then the Vigilance Committee. Those are my only two accounts. I don't have any sock accounts, and I will never get sock accounts. I just don't. I don't think it's right to not say who you are when you're in a chat. But other people can do whatever they want. I don't care. Todd said $20 is $20. Yeah, and that was for something completely different too, right? Okay. Let's see. Finkel. Navy Girl is here. I don't see her. Ask her how she feels about GS's buddy. Ruff threatening a veteran. And see, and this veteran stuff is like, I don't like anybody attacking anybody's military history at all, including GS's. And I think it's kind of a personal thing. What you did in the military, is nobody's business but yours. I don't know. You can do public records requests all you want, but I don't think people should be attacking somebody's military service under any circumstances, really, unless they're just blatant stolen valor, like Kaiser, um, something like that. But other than that, it's just I don't know. And I still, hey, the guy raised his right hand and went through basic and failed twice. That's it. That's Kaiser. Everybody knows it. Okay. I know. But Navy Girl was very clear about the bathtub thing. How is that worse than Ruff's threat? Or even Todd's threat. I hope that you lose your addiction to oxygen, Christopher Ryder. I hope you lose your addiction to oxygen. I can't wait for you to lose your addiction to oxygen. And yet, he's such a victim. He played the victim. Look, the whole boot even did a strike on my channel for what somebody else said. But that video is still up, so I don't believe it worked because terms of service was not violated. Period. You have to use specific words. Let me see this. If I don't mind if people attack me about my military career, laugh out loud. You should be able to get that. Yeah, I do. I get it. Um, let's see. Which veterans are you speaking of, Finkel? Al or Tav? Neither one of them should be attacked for their military service at all. Period. I don't think anybody should. I don't think Todd's military service should be attacked. Although he thinks I do. He thinks I agree with what everything everybody else says. So I'm getting lumped into that thing, and that's fine. He can lump me into wherever he wants. I know what the truth is. He knows what the truth is. I've spoken publicly, privately. I've spoken very publicly about how I feel about people attacking people's military service. I don't like it. I don't want it. My military service, go ahead. Do your thing, man. Pull up my DD-214. You'll find out I was not a good soldier. Period. Yeah, I fought a lot. I never made it past E2. Okay, I was always in trouble. So, if you guys want to expose that, do it. It's not right to do that. So, but whatever. I don't really care.
I mean, that's you're allowed to defend yourself. That's the whole point. Unlawful use of force. That's why it's important for them to notify you. That's where people get confused with.
No, and I understand that, Darren, but I don't think he should have been called out for what he said he did in his service, because he basically did show his DD-214, and a lot of things that he has done was the truth. So they didn't really expose him on any of that. There might have been incorrect terminology, things that he said was a little bit off, but the gist of it is he served his country for 15 years. So leave the guy alone on that kind of stuff. His service was better than mine, that's for sure. Not very many people could be a worse soldier than I was. So
with like Bad Elk versus US, it's not for resisting arrest. That stuff has been opinionated all the way down to resisting an unlawful use.
Okay. Yep. Let me get the link. Paste. There we go. Right clicks and left clicks are even hard. Here we go. All right, there's the link, Finkel. I'll bring you up whenever you're ready. Pull this up here. What Ruff did about Tav and his past was low, man. Lower than low. But what do you expect from a drug dealer who sets up clients over $35? That's just what he got caught doing. Yeah, I agree. Oop, I brought you up before you could take your icon off.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and take that off. I look dorky today. If my congestion, nasally voice bugs you, let me know. I'll go away.
No, you're fine.
And I don't want to distract from where you're going with this. So let me know if this is bad timing.
No, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just noticed that Ruff was talking about something that he had never seen before, like that arrest, and he was basically. It's like you're seeing this stuff for the first time, Ruff. Why didn't you start here? Because this is where it all started with JJ.
Yeah. This is disingenuous because he has commented on it before. I'm not going to go looking for when.
Oh, okay.
He's very familiar with the whole for public safety thing because they've been at it with each other for a while.
Well, I think that when he first started this open publicly, I don't think he did know really anything. He just watched a Dummy Kruger video and just ran with it. I don't think he's really investigated shit, even though he says he has. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's been bugging me a couple days now is all this. I'm a veteran. I just learned you're a veteran too. I kind of sort of don't really consider Kaiser a veteran. He did enlist, but he
failed basic training twice, but he did raise his right hand.
My problem with Kaiser on the veteran thing is not that he failed basic training. A lot of people fail basic training. There's nothing wrong with that. The effort. What pisses me off about Kaiser and a lot of other veterans is the embellishments, the staff sergeants, the Purple Hearts,
getting blown up in combat. He never even made it past basic training. So.
As a veteran myself, I've come to realize that there are good and bad people worthy of dunking on or worthy of respect, regardless of whether or not they have a DD-214, whether or not they've served. And I find it disingenuous for that stream you mentioned from last night, GS. That was cute. Navy Girl and Rats to the Moon were all over for public safety. Not because of the bathtub comment, but to who it was directed to, a veteran, as if a veteran's supposed to get some kind of special protection from people's commentary. And what upsets me is this Ruff video that you're reviewing now. Earlier in the video, I think it was around 35 minutes. He threatens Bao, who is a veteran. It's not even a sly, like for public safety, we get it. What for public safety did, was it yesterday, day before, wasn't a threat. It was a very poorly worded suggestion or a question. Why don't you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, I mean, you can, it's word salad.
Right.
And they use word salad. You know, like TS said, I want you to lose your addiction to oxygen.
He says that all the time. Yeah, he says that all the time. And he kind of denies it. But
of course he does.
At the end of GS's video that you showed me, he sent people over to Chris Ruff. So I'm assuming, making an ass out of you and me, I'm assuming that Navy Girl and Rats to the Moon saw Chris Ruff literally threaten a veteran because that veteran was on the channel that they were on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how's a veiled on the sly kind of question suggestion bad? But what Chris Ruff did last night, directly quote, I don't know if I can say it on your channel because people are trying to get your channel. Well,
yeah, I know they actually violation on a live stream on my channel.
It wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't a code. It says, I will. Well, you guys know what he said. I'm sure you already covered. But what I get is, what I got out of that was the blatant hypocrisy. We're going to protect GS because he has a DD-214. But, because we love, because we love Chris Ruff, because he's GS's buddy, we're going to not say anything. We're going to do a 2-hour show on how Finkel protected for public safety for this veiled suggestion. but it's okay if Chris Ruff does it. It defies logic. And
Well, it's a bias, and I find that even on this side of the aisle, we have biases too. I went back and kind of
yeah, we,
reviewed. I was not really all that fair to Rats to the Moon, but I understand why Chris Ryder went after her. But I should have allowed her to speak more. I really should have, and I
yeah,
did get called out on it.
yeah.
So
We all know whether we like him. I like him or hate him. A lot of people hate him. Chris does tend to do the same thing that irritates me about Brick Jonesy, and
yeah,
that's
it's filibuster.
filibuster. Thank you. I was trying to think
Yeah.
of the
And it was disrespectful to me and my channel the way he
Yeah.
was doing things.
Yeah. But
And
they'll say, "Well, we'll never say anything bad about him." Chris, if you're listening, you filibustered. But I do kind of understand it, because as soon as Rat Simone came in, she was screaming at him. And he's
yeah,
defenses
well,
up.
I told her to speak immediately.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she
okay.
did. And so, and then I don't like that somebody wants to put out a narrative before somebody gets to speak.
Fair enough.
And I don't like somebody putting out a false narrative. I just got this information. She said that there was corn on our, and Rats to the Moon immediately said, I did not. And I tend to believe her on that. And there's no follow up, and there's no evidence that she made that accusation. I don't like lies. And if you're going to say something like that, you need to have the evidence to back it up. So that's
Fair
another
enough.
thing I
Fair
didn't
enough.
like that Christopher Ryder did.
A lie is a lie, whether you direct it at a veteran, a fake veteran, or someone who's been a
Yep.
civilian all life. A lie is a lie. And I
Yep.
don't feel veterans. I get a reserved parking spot at Lowe's. I get an assistance on my mortgage. I get what I deserve as a veteran, and thank God I wasn't injured in the line of duty, so I don't have any medical benefits. But if I did, I would. And I don't think I have protection from people dunking on me or making fun of me. But I think the lines cross with GS. A lot of people make fun of him, and he doesn't get, in my book, special protection because he was a veteran. But when sometimes I can't tell if he's embellishing, lying, or just misarticulating. But he says stuff wrong all the time, and we're calling him out on that. And the veterans who are calling him out on that aren't doing it because he's a veteran and we hate veterans. We're doing it because we're aware that you cannot one person call cadence for an entire battalion. It just doesn't work that way. We know it doesn't work that way.
I think he misspoke on that. I really do. I think
And the funny thing is, we've called him out on it. He doubles down on it. So is he misspeaking? Is he lying? Is he just misunderstanding when they said, "Hey,
maybe he did. Maybe he did call cadence for an entire battalion. Maybe he did. I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
It doesn't really matter, but it's stuff like that. And a battalion will have a sergeant major and 5 first sergeants and several platoon sergeants. Somebody out there would know that's not how drill and ceremony is done. If you're called out during
maybe they really liked him and they wanted to give him that honor. That could happen.
It does happen, but this is how it works. The first sergeant for your company element in a battalion formation says, "Hey, Bryant, you have a wonderful voice. Come out here and sing cadence for us." And so PFC or whatever his rank is, Bryant gets out there and he calls cadence in a battalion formation. However, the company element in front and the company element behind have their own private Bryants singing cadence for their element. A battalion is too big for one man to call cadence.
There's no way everybody could hear her.
Right. So maybe it's his perception that when his first sergeant called him out, "Hey, Bryant, call cadence," maybe it's his perception that the whole battalion is responding to him because all he can really hear is his company. That could be the case, but when you try to explain it to him, he doubles down. "No, it was the whole battalion." I'm like, okay. Now, as a veteran, I realize he's a veteran and he probably sang cadence during a battalion formation. We all have, or most of us have.
Yep.
But he's flexing it and he's doubling down. Even people explain drill and ceremony. He doubles down on it. So if you're on the outside, if you've never served and you don't know what a battalion is or a battalion formation is,
The battalion is like over 1,000 people, isn't it?
well, it depends, but he's
I
talking
remember
about an
right.
infantry battalion. He's specifically talking about 5th Battalion, 20th Infantry, and he's in the HHC element, the headquarters and headquarters company. So he's probably up front as far as the company elements go. And there's probably 140 people.
Uh-huh.
So he's singing cadence and they're responding to him and they're singing, you guys, you know how cadence goes. So it's very loud. So he can't hear what Alpha Company, Bravo Company, Charlie Company, and Delta Company are doing back there. So in his mind, I'm calling cadence for the whole battalion. I get it. He's a young POC. He might misunderstand that. But now he's been to PLDC. He's been a sergeant. He's gotten out. People have pointed out to him. He won't get it. He won't acknowledge his misunderstanding. And if you're on the outside listening to this, you have a choice of what to believe. Are these other veterans telling the truth? Or is Todd telling the truth? And therefore, it's either, in their minds, it's a choice. Is he lying about a service? Or is he being honest about a service? I think and he's not protected from saying this just because he's a veteran. I think he's just fucking stupid and doesn't understand what's right before him.
And I tend to agree with that. I don't think he's lying about his service per se. I think he just has certain misunderstandings of what he's saying and how he's saying it.
Yeah. Do I sound too congested? Should I shut up?
No, you do sound congested. We know you have probably pneumonia.
I hope it's not. But yeah, it feels like
it's not that bad. I think I was pretty much done with this video. I just wanted to point out things that people were saying in the chat. And I wanted to give Christopher Ruff some and you got to give credit where credit's due. He's right about what he's saying as far as it was an unlawful use of force. What I don't like is all of them calling Christopher Ruff or Christopher Ryder a woman beater. And clearly you can tell from that video, if people will go watch that video, it is on For Public Safety's channel in an edited form. The live was taken down because they've got court on this stuff. But you can see where Whited was, and even GS did an analyzed it, and he's even said publicly since then that he still believes it was an unlawful arrest.
I'll give him some credit for saying that in light of being JJ's friend in the same county.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can you remove Jody? I think you are right, Cliff. Can you remove that just for a minute? I want to see where we are in the video. Okay, 3 hours and 4 minutes. It was about an hour into it. So about
I started it at 2:40, 2 hours and 45 minutes is where I started.
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours before Navy Girl post, he said, quote, "You want to go now," end quote, and then grabbed her. Mm-hmm. About 2.5 hours before that, she's on General Specifics channel.
Saying something different.
She didn't opine on this subject, but she's going after anybody who supports For Public Safety because he has the audacity to say something bad about a veteran.
Yeah.
And now she's in the channel of a guy who literally threatened a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, whether he's going to threaten somebody or not, to me, I don't care if they're a veteran or not, unless they're like a disabled veteran. If you threaten someone who's disabled, that's a bigger problem. But threatening people is threatening people. And she's defending on the condition that For Public Safety is not a veteran and Todd is.
Well, anytime it goes against For Public Safety, she's all for it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's talking about
and she even was quoted here too, Navy Girl. He said, "You want to go now?" No. He said, "You want to go too?"
Yeah.
In other words, he'd already arrested Chris, and he was going after Tiffany, and that's how he said she's under arrest. She's under arrest. You want to go too?
Yeah.
That's not
the first time I ever heard of a guy named Fraudit Wrangler. I went to check out his channel, and I thought he sounded silly, but it was like the second or third night that I watched, he was showing his version of that video. And so that's how old it is. I can't remember. It's probably about a year, 14 months.
A year ago. Yeah. But yeah, you guys can go to For Public Safety's channel, and I think he says the unedited version, but it was edited. So
at the time, I didn't know who For Public Safety was, but I went to the channel and I looked at it, and the night that Kaiser did it, they're making a big deal whether or not Tiffany's phone was thrown out of her hand or she was knocked so hard her phone fell on the floor. They're denying anything to do with it. Yeah. But as they're denying it, they're showing the video from the building itself to, I don't know if somebody foiled
the
it.
camera inside the lobby.
But you could see the phone on the ground next to Tiffany right after it was in her, what do you call those things? Gimbal.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously it got knocked down.
And then to add insult to injury, to try to cover up his crime, Whited seized the cameras.
Yeah, I forgot that detail. Yeah, they
unlawful search and seizure.
They had to fight to get those back. That's right.
Yep, and it's a federal law too. I looked up the federal law on this. It is 2000 small a. Read that, and that actually is a federal crime to take, especially a journalist's equipment. And deny them for publishing. It's a First Amendment violation, freedom of press.
Yeah.
But it's also a federal crime. So Whited committed a federal crime by seizing their camera equipment, and that's why they eventually had to give it back.
Yeah.
But he was trying to cover up. He didn't know that she was live at the time. So they were going to try to get some deniability out of there, and they couldn't, and they knew they were in trouble. And then that's why 2 days later, you see JJ go up on Fraudit Wrangler's channel and start attacks from there. And it's been going on for months now. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have muted. I'm sorry. Stephanie put the link to that law you're talking about.
Yeah,
thank you.
Guys, go look it up and read the entire thing. You'll see it as a federal crime to do what Whited did, but of course he'll never be charged with that.
Yeah, it's just very hard to get a law enforcement charge. It can be done, but it's very, very hard. You got to get the right people to listen. And I agree that Chris is a journalist. According to the First Amendment, the freedom of the press shall not be infringed. That means you don't need a license. You don't need a education in journalism. You need to observe, monitor, and report to an audience. And that's what he's doing. Exactly. He's observed and reporting to an audience.
And a lot of folks get this twisted too. Like in order to be considered a journalist, you have to be working for the mainstream media.
Yeah.
And it's an individual right. It's for everyone. We can all be journalists. We can video something, disseminate it to the public, and that's press. And a lot of these people don't understand too. Why do we always have to watch our government? Why do we have to go into the buildings and record them? Well, that's called freedom of press. The whole reason that was put in the First Amendment was to make sure that we have a watchful eye over our government.
Exactly. Thank you, Alexander Hamilton.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, the people like Kaiser will claim the First Amendment's not an individual right; it's a group right. You have to be, bullshit. Yeah. Because the same people follow him, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with them, but they contradict that when they support a certain definition of the Second Amendment. Oh, that's an individual right. The Bill of Rights are individual rights.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just been bastardized from the very beginning, the Constitution and all the, and especially the Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights was actually an afterthought. They couldn't get the Constitution ratified. And so at the very last minute, just to get certain people's support and get it ratified, they had to come up with something called the Bill of Rights in order to get other people to sign on to it. That's how they got people to sign on to it, was putting in the Bill of Rights. It was all last minute.
Right. Even then, they had a hard time. They had to
Yeah.
write letters called the Federalist Papers.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yeah.
why we want a First Amendment. This is why we want a Second Amendment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can tell you too, if you go to, let's see, who was it that gave that famous speech? Give me liberty or give me death. I'm trying to think of his name. A very, very big leader back then.
Don't make me Google it.
I know his name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. And
In my defense, I have a fever.
as for me, give me, I know not what others may do, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. What was his name? Anyway, he did not sign. Patrick Henry. He did not sign the Constitution, even though they appeased him by putting in the Bill of Rights. He still didn't sign it.
Yeah.
Because he thought, we just fought a revolution, and now we're establishing a government that's a lot like what we just fought a war against. So, anyway. History lessons. I love American history, especially. And then I love Montana history simply because my family was a main part of it. But anyway, I digress.
In fact, while these shows were going on last night, Muxter and I were on Chat and Play, and we got a discussion about George Washington, who led our military way to freedom from the unfair British taxes. One of his first acts as president was put down a tax rebellion, the Whiskey Rebellion. I'm like,
the Whiskey Rebellion, and you know why?
I'm sorry.
Washington, he owned the largest whiskey distillery in the United States, George Washington. So he was.
I didn't know. I knew he did it. I didn't know it was the largest. Okay.
Yeah, the largest. So he was like that competition coming through from foreign countries.
I had to tease Muxter. He's from outside of Pittsburgh, and both Washington's start when he was a militia member kind of fucked up in the Pittsburgh area.
Yep. Lost the battle. Yeah.
Unlike Todd, he learned from his fuck ups. And when he came back as a colonial general, actually as a president, he goes back to the Pittsburgh area to put down that rebellion. Actually, he did a lot better than the Brits, but he put down that Whiskey Rebellion. And yeah, Buckster, I was just talking about you.
Yeah, I hear my name.
He is watching me, man. I can't go. He's keeping an eye on me. How you doing, Muxter? Oh yeah. If anyone doubts that where I was last night, I was on Chat and Play with Muxter.
Yeah, I caught that. After the fact, so I watched it. I think I even left a comment. But yeah, I mean, you were showing. It can be confusing when you're showing different a stream of a stream of a stream.
Yeah. I hate it when my voice, or if I'm on a panel of someone else's voice I'm familiar with, but somewhere in the substreams, me or that person is, I'll push play and I get confused. Is it my panel or me that said that? Or, well, I know it's not me, but I get confused at which level of sniping someone said it.
Yeah,
I think we were all done.
The video. Did you say something? No, it's in the stream.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm coughing in your ear. I'm going to mute.
No, you're fine. Okay. Yeah, let's play a little bit more of this. I'm not sure where I ended it, so I'll just continue to play a little bit more of it to see what we can see in the chat here.
Yeah, sorry. I totally threw you off from where you're going. I'm so sorry.
No, No, I like the distraction anyway, and I think you have to in order to make this like my content. Um, it's good that we have a big pause and chat about things and certain things and other things and get off topic and then come back.
Use of force.
Use of force.
Not an unlawful arrest. If a
It'll-
cop tells you you're under arrest, even if that arrest is unlawful, you can't resist it. That's what that means. If they tell you you're under arrest, if you know you're being arrested, if you don't know you're being arrested, you have every fucking right to defend yourself. It doesn't matter if they're wearing a costume and a badge or not.
Exactly.
That human part of your, being able to defend yourself on a human level doesn't just disappear.
Look at the whole boot statement here.
I thought
You
if
see
you
that?
were free to go, you're technically under arrest. Well, it varies from state to state, and I was surprised.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They were never told that they were being detained. In fact, they were told to leave.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Sometimes police officers give contradicting orders. I was surprised a couple years ago after I started doing the camera thing, walking around with the camera. Virginia passed a law requiring arresting officers to announce that you're being arrested and why. And that's when I became aware it's not the same in every state. I mean, constitutionally, you would think it would be required, but some states, they don't have that requirement. In fact, Virginia didn't.
Some states don't follow the Constitution.
Yeah.
And so now Bear is just he's regurgitating what Christopher Ruff's saying, even though he was saying some opposite things. It's unlawful use of force, not arrest. Yeah, that's just what he said, Bear.
Because somebody's a fucking cop. Unlawful.
Because at what point is someone under arrest? Well, first they got to be told they're under arrest before they touch them.
I think
Otherwise-
after a Supreme Court ruling somewhere in the past, they have to give them the Miranda warning or Miranda rights.
Well, they can do that after they arrest them,
Okay.
but they do have to let them know that they're being arrested before they arrest them. They can't just say, "Well, let's just go to jail then," which was his exact words when he arrested Chris. And then he says, "You want to go too?" That's to Tiffany before he arrested Tiffany. Went hands on and put a taser up to her chest and pulled the trigger. Luckily, it didn't go off because I mean that could have killed her.
Yeah.
And I said the word "kill." Could have unalived her. So I committed a TOS violation there. Go ahead and report me, everyone.
I don't think that's a TOS violation. I think it's just an algorithm slow you down thing.
Yeah, probably. And I corrected it too. So.
Yeah.
Unlawful use of
For the
force.
record,
Yeah.
correct.
You can resist an unlawful use of force. Yeah.
Yes,
But
you
you have
can.
to understand the distinction of that.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking tell you you're under arrest. That's not an unlawful use of force.
Exactly.
They're exercising their authority. You know what I'm saying? It's important. That's why I ask these.
All right, Killamilla, you are always there to let cops arrest you. You then fight it in court because even if police are in the wrong, it's harder to win if you fight back at trail.
One of the Wyatt Earp movies, I forget which one, not the Kevin Costner one, the other one. The Wyatt Earp character tells the local sheriff, "I don't think I'm going to let you arrest me today."
Yeah, that was Michael Douglas. No, wait a minute.
It was
What
when
was
Val
that?
Kilmer was Doc Holliday. I can't remember. Was it
Yeah,
Tombstone?
and I mean the guy's a famous actor. He was a child actor, Mickey Mouse guy who had his Annette Funicello was his girlfriend at one point. Trying to think of his name. Somebody will come up with it in the chat, I think. He's been he's in a lot of movies. He's grown as an actor. Yeah, the movie Tombstone. Who played Wyatt Earp? They'll come up with it here in a minute. News with guts. Hey, I just came up with an original song, Ruff the Magic Dragon, Little F, if you stay with the law, Avondale pull their guns on him when he doesn't have one to draw. Time to break out the axe to get a little. So I think this guy's a troll and Mr. Ruff's channel.
Yeah, he made
And
me
it could-
laugh, and laughing makes me cough. Damn you, Deuce.
It could be Barry Cooper too. So it could be a sock account. I don't know. Allegedly in Minecraft, I don't know.
Stephanie wins. It's Kurt Douglas.
Yep, Kirk Douglas. Thank you, Stephanie. I knew you'd find it.
It's questions. I don't fucking like Tiffany. I don't like Chris, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be like, yep, that was right. They need to go to jail and prison forever. Nah. Nothing's
the
going to
booch.
happen to these cops. They're not.
Yep, nothing's going to happen to the cops. Lick the boot, you're detained, he says, Pressmaster. He should be detained. I mean, he should be a little bit more quiet about what he talks about, because what he's doing is he's putting out a lot of misinformation. And that's why I wanted to have a phone conversation with you, buddy. I kind of wanted to let you know where you were going down the wrong track, especially when you're going off the words and the videos of the likes of Dummy Kruger and all those weirdos that were actually simps for Product Wrangler. So
I think lick the whole boot, and I have to look in the mirror when I say this because it applies to me too. You ever watched The Point with Ringo Starr? There's a point there where the main character runs into a guy called the Rock Man. He's a big rock that talks, and basically he explains to the main character that you see what you want to see and you hear what you want to hear. And I think what Lick the Whole Boot is doing in his, I don't mean in a mean way, ignorance, lack of knowledge. He sees and hears what he wants to see and hear.
and here, yeah, because especially since he came out with that first video, we're not really knowing what the hell he was talking about. But now he's got to defend what he's already said, so he's locked in there. That's what I get accused of too. I've been a simp per se for public safety for so long that I can't possibly. I'm too far in, and I can't get out of it. I can pull my support from for public safety anytime I want, and there's some things that I don't like, but should he go to jail? Should he these 11 charges against him, 2 of which are felonies that JJ has put out there on him? Should he go to jail for that stuff? No. Just like with Whited arresting him, should he go to jail for that, for those charges as well? Hell no.
Mucks are in further correction. It's Kurt Russell, not Kurt Douglas. I get my Kurt's confused.
Right. Yeah, I did too. That's what I was thinking with Kurt Russell instead of Kurt, or I was thinking Kurt Douglas instead of Kurt Russell, but I knew it wasn't Douglas, and so that's why I didn't say anything. So yeah. All right. Now Stephanie had it wrong. It was Kurt Russell. This is big. This is very important stuff, right? Here we go.
They're going to get in any trouble. Do they ever? You got to run some scam nonprofit and be fucking off millions of dollars and then leave a breadcrumb trail for the next sheriff to figure it out for you to actually get in some trouble. After you've already been a sheriff and done fucked everybody over, then you might.
Bloodborne. I know I'm definitely giving up because that piggy gonna freak out and pull that pew pew after you knock a tooth out. Well, yeah, you don't want to resist arrest or an illegal arrest or an illegal use of force. You don't want to resist because, yeah, they've got the weapons and they'll use them.
And yeah, the odds are even stacked against you in court. Doesn't
Yeah,
make
they
it
are.
totally wrong, but it's you're skating uphill, as they say.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with a lot of auditors out there that that are they cuss at the cops. They do all kinds of things to get in their to, and they're in their field deals. It's not going to look good in court. I've told many auditors out there that are antagonize. Well, they call it antagonizing. The other side does, even though it's really not. It's redressing your grievances. Um, but yeah, calling them names, doing all that kind of stuff is not going to look good in court
Right.
because you got a lot of bootlickers that are part of the jury.
And I get it. Now I just changed my avatar. I've been trying to explain this to Brick Jones for a little while now. You may be in the right, and if they're arresting you, it would behoove you to cooperate and go with. I get it. You may have a moral obligation or desire to resist, but this avatar, and the reason I pulled this out isn't just to pick on Brick, but he likes to say things like, have faith in God, not man. Well, this picture is from when men were arresting him. Whether you agree with the arrest or not, he was fighting every inch of the way. And my point is, if you have faith in God, wouldn't you just go willingly? And he points out, but those charges were dropped. I'm like, okay, great. Why do all the resisting? You're still going to get there. You're still going to get to where the charges are dropped if that's the case.
Well, you're more likely to get the charges dropped if you don't
Yes.
resist too much, because
Exactly.
juries are already tainted anyway. I believe the jury pool comes from people going to fairs where the cops are, and they have to sign in, because the cops are their heroes. I think that's where they get their juries.
Mhm.
I don't think it's random. I think the jury pool's tainted from the very start. That's why most people get convicted in trials, because cops can get up there and lie, and you can actually prove that they lied. But they're such heroes that the jury will still find the defendant guilty anyway. So, look, the whole boot says that's what I'm trying to say, press. I've heard a lot of people say that even detainment is technically being under arrest. Yeah, but that's not what's happening in here. Why do you even bring that up with the boot? They weren't detained. They were told to leave.
Have you ever seen a pterodactyl?
A pterodactyl?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to say no.
Okay, no.
Have you ever wanted to see a pterodactyl?
No.
See what you want to see.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't
That's
see what you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I get in some trouble. Three days paid vacation.
Hey, Cliff.
Okay.
I apologize. I begged you to get up here, and that I'm up here. I gotta lay down.
Yeah, no worries, man. I know you're not feeling well and have pneumonia, so thanks for coming up. I appreciate you.
All right, everyone, click the like and subscribe, and leave me that alone.
Yeah, and subscribe to Finkel's channel. Definitely, he's doing some good work.
Cheerio.
All right, so Cricket Shepherd again. Yes, watch the unedited video. Otherwise, you get what Ryder gives it. She was kicking and throwing him around the area. Ryder said he punched him in the face. That's a lie. You're a fucking idiot. Also, if you're not the one being arrested, do not touch the cop arresting the other party. Bear, that wasn't done. That was not done. Go back and watch everything again. Put it in really slow motion. She never touched him. She basically said, "You just messed up. And don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be in a pickle." And she was backing up when she was saying those things. She was backing away. And then he said, "You want to go too?" And he rushed her and grabbed her And you want to get tased? He pulled out a taser and tried to tase her. It wasn't her being aggressive and physical. It was Whited. So stop with the stupid ass narrative that you're trying to put out there just because you don't like what they say and do.
Yeah, you can distract a police officer. Don't touch the person arresting the cop. The cops arresting, never get involved in their fucking arrests. You can sit there and verbally challenge what they're doing, but
and that's what she did because she knows better. She knows not to get physical. I mean, it's not their first rodeo. They've been around. Uh, they've been in this business for a while. They know what they can do and what they can't do legally when they're interacting with corrupt officials, especially cops. So they're not stupid, and they weren't stupid. Um, so anyway, guys, if you want to see the rest of this, I'm not going to say it. I'm just not. Um, you want to see the rest of this, you know what to do, but I'm not going to tell you. But anyway, that's all I've got. We're over 2 hours. I just wanted to make sure that I am being honest. Make sure that I'm calling balls and strikes correctly. It's not that I like Christopher Ruff at all, because I don't. I think he twists things. I don't twist things, and I call things out when they need to be called out on both sides. Um, and I think that's why I don't get a lot of support on this channel. Um, but I'm not going to talk about that in public either, um, because it really doesn't matter. Um, I'm going to do things the way I do things, and if people don't like it, they can lump it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm always going to tell the truth, at least what I believe is the truth. And if I find out I'm wrong, I will admit when I'm wrong. I always have, always will. Again, let's check to see how many new subscribers we got. How many do? Maybe I need to refresh this. Let me refresh it. Let's see if that works. 192. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. Went from 184 to 192. That's something, right? And that's all I can ask. Be sure and hit the notification bell because I'll be doing a lot of these, answering to both sides actually. Um, if my side, and I am biased, I fully admit that, and I don't want to be biased. In fact, Rats to the Moon, I don't believe I was as fair to you as I should have been. Um, Ryder does like to filibuster, and I should have muted him more. I did mute him more than anyone else, but the guy likes to talk. Um, and I think it was disrespectful of him to put out potentially terms of service things. Somebody did report it on their live, like the whole boot. Reported my channel, even though he said it was for public safety that did it. But as you can see, that live is still up, so they're not really doing anything about it anyway because it was not a terms of service violation. And Lenny, Mr. Carey, Lenny, it's Vigilance Committee. You always rock. God bless you. Thanks, Lenny. I appreciate that. What's Muxter saying? Nobody likes the voice of reason. You're right, and a lot of times, Just Muxter, you have a voice of reason, and nobody likes it. People don't like the truth, even especially if you're going against their narrative or what they've said or what they've done, even though it can be true. So, um, the Vigilance Committee, many people don't like how people like you and me think. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like the way some of us think. And Lenny, I think you're from Montana. I think you actually left so you're a Montana brother, so you know the history of Montana as well. Um, and you know too that the vigilantes of Montana are basically heroes. In fact, if you guys go to the Highway Patrol and pull up their patches, you'll see an old vigilante warning 3-7-77. They wear it on their patches. So if the vigilantes of Montana were bad or evil, like in some other states, like California, or certain other states, yeah, those vigilantes were, they were not right, righteous in what they did. But if you understand Montana history and you're a Montanan, you know that the vigilantes of Montana were righteous. They got rid of government corruption. So you could say that my family has been rooting out government corruption since 1864. So that's why I put 1864 on a lot of stuff, including in my email. My email is the Vigilance Committee 1864 at gmail.com. Okay, enough of this. I'm going to end it. Thanks for coming in, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.
In the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred land. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms and the darkest night, we'll shine our light, we'll stand and fight. For the ones we love, for the ones we've lost. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll bear the cost. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms and the darkest night, we'll shine our light, we'll stand and fight. For the ones we love, for the ones we've lost. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll bear the cost. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. In the quiet of the night, we'll keep the watch, we'll hold on tight. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll stand tall. Together we'll rise, together we'll fall. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. In the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we'll stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred in the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we'll stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred land.